Today on Airborne, the opening general session of the 65th Annual NBAA Convention and Meeting. Eclipse CEO Mason Holland had an update on the company's very light jet, and production is underway in North Carolina on the HondaJet. I'm Ashley Hale. Welcome to Airborne on Aero-TV. Thanks for joining us. The opening general session for the 65th Annual NBAA Conference was designed to serve as a reminder to the attendees that the industry is vital to the national economy, with a slate of speakers invited to drive home that point. Tom Patton was at the session and has this report.
After acknowledging some of aviation's legends, NBAA President and CEO Ed Bowen got down to the heart of the matter, introducing a slate of speakers to point out the value of business aviation. First to the podium was House Transportation Committee Chair John Mica, a Florida Republican, who acknowledged the fight that business aviation has had to wage over the past couple of years.
I wish I could tell you that the war on business aviation is over, but all I can tell you is maybe there's a slight ceasefire, and here maybe to report a little bit on what's taking place. There's some people who just don't get it. They don't understand that, in fact, business aviation is one of the great economic engines of our economy and one of the great economic engines of a free enterprise system where people are free to go anywhere unless government stops them, unless government declares war on them.
While Mica acknowledged some of the successes in Washington over the past couple of years, such as passing the FAA reauthorization bill, he said there are still some serious challenges to be overcome.
We've got to continue on the assault we face not only sometimes domestically from our own regulatory agencies and the federal government, but also the European Union, who's set to impose a unfair emissions trading scheme tax on commercial and business aviation. We need a permanent administrator in FAA as soon as possible. It's difficult enough to deal with an agency that has an administrator, let alone one that only has an acting administrator, and you know what I mean. So I'm here to join you in sending the message of no plane, no gain. I want to help stop the war on business aviation, and I think together we can do that.
Next, Kansas Senator Jerry Moran, also a Republican and a member of the Senate Aviation Caucus, talked about how business aviation affects more than just those who are directly associated with the industry.
Many times when the attacks came on the general aviation industry, it was thought about manufacturing and jobs, and I don't want to diminish that at all, certainly as a Kansan, but as an American, it is hugely important to us and to our economy. But if you are a person who cares about all of America, who cares about those folks who've made a decision to live in rural America and have access to the rest of the world because of an airport and an airplane, general aviation matters greatly. It's how we get our doctors to our communities across Kansas. It's how a small manufacturer can remain in rural Kansas and connect with the rest of the world, bring their customers in, fly their parts in and out, and continue to add to the economy of rural America. It's how we can attract and retain and grow an economy, and in the absence of general aviation, the ability for many places in America to survive and prosper diminishes greatly.
And later in the session, Forbes publisher Rich Karlgaard said one of the keys to the recovery of business aviation is sustained economic growth above 3%.
This industry in particular thrives when the needle is over 3%. This industry is a 3% plus industry. That's when the symbiotic relationship between the economy helping aviation and aviation helping the economy really kicks in. And it's hard to get to critical mass, isn't it, when we're at 2% growth. So this election, the domestic issue, the mother of all issues on the domestic side, is how do we get back to 3% to 4% growth? Because if we don't, if we struggle along at 2% growth, this industry is going to have severe headwinds. My industry and the media is going to have severe headwinds. A lot of people are going to have headwinds. It is absolutely a moral issue that we get back to 3 and 4% growth when we look at the unemployment in the land.
Bowen presented the Al Yulchi Humanitarian Award to Fred Smith of FedEx for their work with the Orbis Flying Eye Hospital. But Ashley, overall, the tone of the meeting was upbeat, but one of resolve. The industry knows that it faces challenges not only from Washington, but from several other quarters, and that it's going to have to remain vigilant to weather the current economic storm. From the 65th Annual NBAA Convention in Orlando, Florida, I'm Tom Patton for Airborne.
Production is underway for the long-anticipated HondaJet. The company said in a news conference here in Orlando on Monday. The company also highlighted key testing milestones that have been successfully accomplished with the HondaJet, moving closer to certification and delivery. Honda Aircraft President and CEO Michimasa Fujino said that major aircraft components, including the fuselage and wing, have been produced. An assembly of the first customer aircraft is underway on an assembly line in Greensboro, North Carolina, where HondaJet has its headquarters. Mr. Fujino said he is hopeful certification and first customer delivery would take place before the end of 2013. He indicated the engine has not achieved FAA certification, and that was the critical path item to complete plane testing and FAA certification. You're watching Airborne. More in a moment.
For 60 years, Aerosonic has been a leader in aviation products and equipment. From this heritage of quality and precision comes the next generation of standby instrumentation. The Oasis multifunction standby display system is uniquely designed to be the most flexible and affordable system of its type on the market today. Stop by NBAA booth number 3733 for a demonstration of this exciting new product, or check us out on the web at aerosonic.com.
I love having internet connection when I travel. It means I can do more business, keep up with the people in my life, and when I'm ready to unwind, watch a movie, or track my favorite sports teams. Unfortunately, what some airborne network service providers don't tell you is that their broadband internet service doesn't work everywhere, or that it only works above 10,000 feet. And what that means is you can't use it while you're on the ground or while you're taxiing. That's fine for a passenger entertainment system, but not for your business. Broadband on business aircraft has to work everywhere. It has to be available all the time. That's why Symphony Global Broadband was designed to work globally, just like you do. So if you're thinking of adding broadband to your business aircraft, give us a call. We'll help you fly, connect, succeed.
Meet SAM, the new 2-inch standby attitude module from Mid-Continent Instruments and Avionics. SAM's unique 2-screen display features high-definition graphics and extra-wide viewing angles. Get to know SAM today. Visit flysam.com.
Welcome back. If you'd like to suggest a story for Airborne, Aero-TV, our website, or our podcast, drop us an email to news-by@aero-news.net. Eclipse CEO Mason Holland released new information and product details on the Eclipse 550 twin-engine jet and cockpit at their booth Tuesday afternoon. Jim Campbell was there and files this report.
Mason, on the way to production of the Eclipse 550, there's obviously been a number of milestones. Obviously, the cockpit now has been upgraded. Tell us what's happening here.
Well, you know, we've announced a lot of these things that we were going to do before, and now we're showing off some stuff that we've already done today, which is pretty cool. So we now have auto throttles that are actively working in the cockpit, and you'll see the throttles move back and forth as we adjust speed in the aircraft. We've moved the third attitude indicator off to a standby unit to the left of the main panels. This gives some redundancy to the cockpit, but it also opens up our MFD to some opportunities for some tall display charts, so we can display the charts in a full feature without scrolling and allow geo-reference capability of not only flying around the approach, but also the vertical reference to the approach as well as checklists and many other things that we're continuing to advance in the aircraft.
Outstanding. And everything's on target for a July 2013 delivery for the first 550?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're tracking still too. And, you know, we're 8 months away, so I feel more confident than I did 12 months away. And I think progress is going there. So now we're talking about the issue of is there going to be a couple weeks around July, a couple weeks after July. We're right around that time frame, but we're seeing our way clear to delivering 15 to 18 aircraft in 2013, which is pretty cool.
We look forward to seeing them come off the line. Thank you, sir.
Hey, thanks, Jim. I appreciate everything you do.
Garmin has unveiled the GTS 8000 Traffic Alert and Collision Avoidance System, or TCAS-2, Airborne Collision Avoidance System, or ACAS-2, for transport category aircraft. The company says the device maintains constant surveillance, identifies potential traffic conflicts, and issues traffic alerts and maneuver commands to clear the aircraft of traffic conflicts. Garmin says that the GTS 8000 meets the most recent TCAS-2 ACAS-2 standardization requirements. Traffic information from the GTS 8000 can be displayed on Garmin's G5000, G3000, and G1000 integrated flight decks, as well as a wide variety of cockpit displays. Additional traffic symbology can be displayed on Garmin synthetic vision technology equipped PFDs. Hawker Beechcraft Corporation said Monday it had delivered the 7,000th Beechcraft King Air since the legendary line of twin-engine turboprops began production in 1964. The milestone aircraft is a Beechcraft King Air 350i, delivered to Herman & Kittle Properties Incorporated, based in Indianapolis. Company president and CEO Jeff L. Kittle was a guest of HBC for a special delivery ceremony in Orlando this week. HBC says the fleet of 7,000 aircraft has amassed in excess of 45 million flight hours. The King Air is currently operated in 127 countries around the world and flies for all branches of the U.S. military. Business jet travelers can now take full advantage of an onboard Apple iTunes library to share movies, TV shows, and music wirelessly and on demand with Rockwell Collins' new Skybox. The device integrates Apple TV coupled with a 1 terabyte of onboard storage capacity. It is the first airworthy solution to securely stream digital rights management, Hollywood-protected content, both to cabin displays and to Apple devices brought on board. Skybox gives each passenger the ability to play any content stored in the system's library on up to 10 Apple iOS devices. Skybox is basically an Apple TV in a case with aviation connectors for the small sum of $30,000. It has passed all the environmental, electrical, and structural requirements required by the FAA, and it's available now through Rockwell Collins authorized dealers. Finally, today on Airborne, Cessna has launched their signature community endeavor, the Citation Special Olympics Airlift, calling for Citation owners and operators to help transport more than 1,000 athletes and coaches from across the nation to the 2014 Special Olympics in New Jersey. This is the 7th time Cessna has organized the CSOA, which is held every 4 years. Cessna hopes to recruit at least 175 Citation owners to transport 1,000 athletes to New Jersey on June 14, 2014, and then return them to their home bases on June 21, 2014. The first CSOA in 1987 involved more than 130 citations carrying athletes to and from South Bend, Indiana. The last airlift in 2010 included 165 citations transporting 830 athletes to and from Lincoln, Nebraska. Get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at Aero-News.net. And join us again tomorrow for more coverage of the 2012 NBAA Convention and Trade Show. I'm Ashley Hale, and we'll see you then.